Hello, good evening. It's very nice to see so many familiar faces and also a lot of faces that I don't know. So I'm looking forward to get to know you this evening. So my name is Johan. I'm not going to pronounce my last name. It's difficult for me too. So I'm with One Way Ministries and I'm the workplace network lead. You know, whether you're a leader in the public sector or in the private sector, living out your faith in the workplace can be challenging and it can be lonely. We from One Way Ministries, and that is our branding statement, we engage with Ottawa's workplace leaders to deepen their faith, to build authentic relationships, and to discern and live out their calling in their specific spheres of influence. Our vision at the Workplace Network is to see Ottawa full of Christ followers who love their colleagues, who love to live out their love of God in their workplaces. And that these Christ followers will be the light of the gospel in their workplaces. So we engage with many groups throughout the week, throughout the month, and support business leaders. There's a number of events that we organize. I just want to highlight one event that's coming up in January. This is called Workers on Our Knees, and it's inspired by City on Our Knees. You know, I've been talking to some friends, people that have become friends across Canada, workplace leaders, workplace ministry leaders, and they asked me about prayer. And, you know, Doug and Jennifer and others, we do this thing called a date with God. So we take a whole day and spend some time with God in His Word, in prayer, and in community with fellow Christians. We get people together once a month to just be still and reflect on the Word, and we call that so aptly named pause, reflect, and refresh, because that's what happens. And as I was sharing this with my friends across Canada, and I told them about City on Our Knees and what an impact that has on our city, it just caught like bushfire. And I actually have nothing to do with it. It's all to the glory of God. This coming January 24, we're going to have thousands and thousands of people across Canada praying for their workplaces, praying for their colleagues. This is something I was just speaking to Jerry before we started, and he says, you know, praying for your workplace, praying for your colleagues, what's that about? I haven't been taught that in my Sunday school, but here we are doing that. One of the other events that we offer, it's a small group, an 8-week foundation study, and I think Michelle was just mentioning faith-driven entrepreneurs, so we've done quite a few of these cohorts, and Tolani Mak is here. Where are you, Tolani? Please come up. Tolani is going to say how the faith-driven entrepreneur meetings, what it's meant to her.
Thanks, Johan. All right. I wrote a few words, so I'm just going to pull that up. There we go. So funny enough, I actually found out about One Way in Ministries through Google search. So my husband and I, we moved to the Ottawa area during the pandemic. And even though he grew up in the Ottawa area, he'd been in Toronto for a number of years, where his plan was to pick me up and bring me back here. And so we ended up moving here at a time when many Ottawans were kind of, you know, stuck in their pandemic bubbles. So it was really, really difficult to connect. And a lot of his friends had left the city, or, you know, maybe their pods were full or something like that. And so we found it really tough to connect, and we specifically wanted to connect people who were like-minded. Because back in Toronto, we were really privileged to be part of a group that was all about living out your faith, not only, through church and ministry outside of that, but in the workplace as well. Basically where you live as well as where you work. So it was like live, work, play, kingdom all day. So it was really cool. And being in Ottawa, we really wanted to find like-minded people who were entrepreneurs, because we were really looking to grow in our understanding of business. Where does God fit into that? How do you make God a stakeholder in your business? These kinds of questions were on our hearts. So a friend of ours actually told us about a group online, a Kingdom Entrepreneurship group, and that was just a huge blessing to us, and we were so encouraged. But then we were like, what if we could find a local group that was similar to this, and we could actually meet these people in person and, hug each other, share a meal, something. So we thought that was crazy. We were convinced we wouldn't find it, but I was like, let's see. So Holy Spirit led me to Google, and I actually found a group. So we were surprised, and I joined Faith Driven Entrepreneur, where I met Johan, and he just quickly got me situated and settled, and it was such a blessing that even my husband felt settled, even though he wasn't attending the meetings, just from me sharing my experiences. And Faith Driven has been so encouraging for me in my business, especially because I am a wellness routine coach, and I don't know how much you guys know about the wellness space, but there's a lot of new age philosophies that have pretty much dominated that industry. And so being in there as a believer and not knowing anyone else who's a believer, because I just keep meeting people with similar philosophies, but then knowing that I can go back to my faith-driven group and share stories and be encouraged and be prayed for and be challenged has just been invaluable. One day, actually, I was praying about, Lord, I really want to start my next event with a psalm. Should I do it? Should I not? And I shared it in our group, and of course, everybody was like, yes, you should 100% do that. So I did it because I knew that I had a group of people who were encouraging me, praying for me, and would be there regardless of how it went. And so I was thinking about just a word of encouragement for One Way Ministries and Johan and just everything God is doing here. And God gave me Proverbs 11, verse 25. And it says, whoever brings blessing will be enriched, and one who waters will himself be watered. And that's just my heart for this ministry, is that it's just watering not only me through this group, but through all the other ministries happening. Like I'm the type that, I'm like an all-you-can-eat buffet when it comes to ministries. So I was just so encouraged when I went into the space and I saw Love Ottawa, Pray Ottawa, all this. I was excited. So my prayer is that God just continues to water this ministry and continues to water us as we continue to bless this ministry. So thank you.